I've seen a million mushroom risotto recipes on YouTube, but none are as good or as easy as mine. I'm going to share my foolproof tips so that you can make the perfect risotto at home. Let me show you how. To a heat-proof vessel, add about 20 grams or half a cup of dried porcini mushrooms. Pour over 300 milliliters, about 1¼ cups of boiling hot water. We're going to let these mushrooms steep for about 30 minutes while we prepare everything else. Start by chopping 400 grams, 14 ounces of mushrooms. I've given my mushrooms a good wash. You'll want to cut them into 1/2 centimeter to 1 centimeter slices, so that's about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. You can use any type of mushroom you like. Wild mushrooms would be really nice in this recipe, but chestnut mushrooms are really easily accessible. You want to use a wide pan with higher than average sides, like a brazier, to make your risotto. The more surface area you have on the bottom, the easier it is for the rice to soak up all of that juice. Drizzle about a tablespoon or so of olive oil in your pan. You're going to need about 2 tablespoons in total for all of your mushrooms. And then I'm going in with 1 tablespoon, 15 grams of butter. Turn your pan to medium-high heat and let your fats get nice and bubbly. Add in half of your mushrooms. The reason we cook our mushroom in batches is because they contain a lot of water. If you were to put all of the mushrooms in the pan, they would more likely steam and not caramelize. While your mushrooms are cooking, turn 1 liter, 4¼ cups of stock onto medium-high heat. You can use chicken or vegetable stock. Once your mushrooms have some color on them and are nearly cooked through, give them a sprinkling of salt. Remove these from the pan and start on the second batch. Add the rest of your oil and butter to the pan and go in with the rest of your mushrooms. And like the first batch, once these are browned, add a sprinkling of salt. Then remove them from the pan as well. Finally, chop 1 large shallot. You can use any type of onion you want for this, or you could even sub out the shallot just for garlic, but I like the sweet flavor that shallots bring. And you chop a shallot the same way you chop an onion. So you want to come across your shallot a couple of times, and then come down the center into like a sunburst pattern. And then just finally dice it. Turn your pan down to medium and add another really good drizzle of olive oil. You want this to pretty much coat the bottom of your pan because this is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting. And then go in with your shallots. While the shallots are cooking, let's chop up our rehydrated mushrooms. I've lined a sieve with some kitchen towel, or you could use cheesecloth. Pour the mushroom liquid through the sieve. Roughly chop your reconstituted mushrooms and add them to your shallots. You'll want to check and make sure there are no woody stemmy bits. Give them a little stir so that everything combines nicely. Once your shallots are really fragrant and a bit translucent, it's time to go in with your rice. You want to use either carnaroli or arborio rice. No other option. Carnaroli can be a little bit hard to find, but it's definitely the creamier of the two. But arborio will be just as nice. Add in 300 grams, 1½ cups of carnaroli or arborio rice. And give that a really good stir. I like to spread my rice out so that it's completely coating the bottom of the pan. This is the easiest way to toast it nice and evenly. It's important not to rush the rice toasting process. This might take about 5 minutes and your rice should become really opaque. They might even start to brown slightly. This process helps to add flavor, but it also helps with leaching out the starches in the rice. While the rice is toasting, finely chop your parsley. You can see how the rice has become a little bit more opaque and taken on some of that color. It's time to add in half a cup, 118 milliliters of a nice Italian white wine. I'm using Pinot Grigio. Deglaze your pan with white wine, but if you don't like white wine, you can use a tablespoon of white wine vinegar or lemon juice in its place. It just helps to brighten the dish so that it's not too heavy. Once all of the wine has evaporated, add in your mushroom stock. It's important that the liquid that you're adding to your risotto is warm. This helps to keep the cooking process going and the rice stays creamy. Once you've added in the wine, the whole cooking process should only take about 18 to 20 minutes. You want to stir this fairly regularly, and my nonna always had a superstition that you had to stir it in the same direction. It already looks so creamy, and if you pull your spoon through it and it doesn't come together really quickly, it's nice and slow, it's time to add more liquid. I like to add about 1 to 2 ladlefuls at a time, around half a cup per addition. At no point do you want your risotto to ever get completely dry. Make sure there's always a little bit of liquid in the bottom. If you run out of stock and your risotto is still not ready, you can use a little bit of hot water to loosen it up. With the addition of your last bit of stock, go ahead and add in 3/4 of your mushrooms. I like to reserve some of the mushrooms to garnish the dish. I'm adding a tablespoon of truffle paste for extra flavor. But if you can't find it, don't worry, you can leave it out. It will still be delicious. I'm adding in 1 tablespoon or 15 grams. Once most of your liquid has been absorbed by the rice, you'll want to give it a taste. You still want your risotto to be a little bit loose. My rice is just slightly underdone. I'll let it cook another minute or 2 until it's perfectly al dente and then finish it off. Have you ever made mushroom risotto? What's your favorite risotto flavor? Do you have another favorite Italian rice dish that you like to eat? Let me know in the comments below. Once the rice is at your preferred firmness and you've got about this much liquid left, your risotto is ready to finish off. Add in 1 tablespoon, 15 grams of butter, and about 60 grams, half a cup of grated Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. I'm also going to sprinkle in a little handful of freshly chopped parsley. Give that a stir. Adding your butter and cheese at the end of the cooking process helps to keep the whole thing really nice and creamy. You can see how glossy the butter has already made it. And you're ready to serve. Ladle yourself up a hearty bowl and top however you like. My favorite way is with some extra Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, some additional finely chopped parsley, and those mushrooms that we set aside earlier. And just a little bit more cheese. It's like a warm hug on a crisp, cold day. And now you know how to make the perfect mushroom risotto every single time. You can make this recipe in advance. Just don't cook it all the way. Make sure there's just a little more than a little bite to that rice. Then when you reheat it, add a little bit more stock or a little bit of hot water just to make it really nice and creamy again and to finish cooking the rice. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button down below. And if you're looking for another Italian rice dish, you have to try my nonna's Italian rice salad. It's perfect for a make-ahead lunch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.